We're live from the Microsoft 365 Community Conference where Microsoft just did an amazing announcement. They are improving or completely, I wouldn't say changing, but completely improving the way that sharing is done to make it easier and better. Microsoft did a blog post about it, but instead of reading the blog post, let's deep dive into it together. And because this is so new, I'm joined by Principal PM at Microsoft, Stephen Rice. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Vlad. I'm so excited to be here. This is really fun.
I cannot wait for us to show this. I was lucky enough to see a preview at MVP Summit. So now I cannot wait for everybody else to see it as well.
It's actually better because MVP, we showed you screenshots.
You have demos now.
I have live code that runs all of it, and this is exciting. This will be.
But I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to ask you to do things.
Don't interrupt me and
Perfect.
The only caution is, this is we're still in development. There's still things not done. We're in the railroad, where if I go off track, things will go crazy.
I think everybody would rather see a live demo that breaks a bit than Figma.
It makes it. There's nothing wrong with Figma.
There's nothing wrong with Figma.
But
still.
All right.
So, what can you tell us about the new sharing?
So to start with, we wanted to kind of address a lot of the feedback we've been hearing from customers for years about sharing in OneDrive and SharePoint, file and folders, things like that. So I've worked on this for, now I'm gonna feel old, since 2015 or so.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was, my favorite stat, just as an aside, when I joined OneDrive and SharePoint, we had 4 admin settings for sharing.
That's not a lot.
That's not a lot. We have 50 plus now. So the product has matured quite a bit since then. And this was really an opportunity to address some of the core feedback. We're making some changes here to sharing that we've not touched some of this in 15 plus years.
Wow.
So the goal is you saw at the MVP Summit. I have the rabbit duck picture. There's the blue gold dress kind of thing. Depending on your perspective, different people will approach it different ways. But the goal is to make sharing simpler, smarter, and more secure.
Wait, I've seen that before. Isn't that how they talked about Teams in the keynote on the first day of the conference?
It is. I have to be calm. Jeff said it. I can't go against Jeff.
You cannot go against Jeff.
But no, Jeff doesn't watch this, right?
Oh,
maybe he does.
Maybe he does. We'll find out.
We'll find out if he yells at me. So internally, this is what we called simple, smart, and secure sharing. So when Teams was up there, I sent a message in our team chat hey, I think they stole our name. But you also may see this referred to as the hero link sharing model, which
I like the hero link a lot better.
I do as well.
But I know why it's called the hero link. But now you're gonna have to tell everybody why it's the hero link.
Yes. So let's dive into it. So I've got 2 users set up on my experience here. On the left is myself, Stephen. On the right is a coworker, Cassie. Awesome. So I'm gonna run you through kind of the demo we did for the keynote session that Jason did on Wednesday.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. So let's go through. So I've got this file. Step 1, I need to share it with my coworker, Nestor. So as expected, click on share. And this is the brand new sharing experience that we are delivering as part of this update. There's a couple different pieces to it. You've got the add people section there at the top. Yeah. We've got an integrated manage access experience, which is a thing I'm really excited about. No longer do we have this separate share and manage access. It's all in one place.
So now you already see who has access
you can make informed decisions.
Awesome.
And then we have this file access settings. This is where the hero link lives. We'll come back to that in just a moment. So I need to share with Nestor. So I'm gonna come in here, select Nestor. First change, as soon as you go into the add people flow, we go into this kind of focused experience. You're writing an email. You wanna get that message sent. You don't need to worry about the rest of it now. So we bring you into that experience. First exciting feature that we brought in, you may remember there's that checkbox in the old grant access experience when you want to choose whether to send an email notification or not. Yeah. Now you can do that in the share experience.
I like it.
Super helpful. If you have a new person join the team, you need to share a bunch of files with them. You don't want to spam them with 20 emails.
No, you just want them to have access and
later
go. Email with everything.
Let them use Copilot, to get
find
that
everything.
Way.
Talking about Copilot, I see add a file summary with Copilot. I think that's already here today, right?
That exists today. Let's see. Let's test myself. I believe 2 weeks ago, we extended it to additional file types as well. We added support for encrypted documents if you have a label on them, things like that. But yeah, we're bringing it into this experience as well. Just one of those things, like you've got your dedicated Copilot chat experiences, and then we want to bring that kind of Copilot magic in line when it makes sense. In this case, you can see it generates a nice summary of my document.
I love it because nobody ever writes stuff in there. Now we can actually. I always get an email. Somebody shared a file with you. I don't know why, nothing. I don't know what a file is. Now I know, and it's one click.
You get the summary. So let's just complete the flow. I add Nestor. First thing I have to call out, Nestor shows up in Manage Access in the integrated experience immediately. So immediate confidence, I share with the right person.
No need to refresh.
No need to refresh, it's just there. Second thing, we've added this kind of external tag here for your external users.
Nice.
Again, external users are where we see the most risk when it comes to sharing, because you overshare content with an external user, that's a much bigger issue. So we really wanted to bring that front and center.
Awesome.
And then the next thing I want to show you, bulk updating of permissions within this experience. So today, if I wanted to update Michaela and Ascend here to edit, click Michaela, edit, confirm, click Ascend, edit, confirm. Now select them both, can edit, confirm, and they're
That's
done.
cool.
Yeah,
it's nice. Love it. So you can have that for remove permission, for whatever.
For everything.
Bulkhead. Is there a limit, like 10 people, or?
That's a good question. There is probably a limit of about 10, something like that.
But still, it's way better than
it was
one at a time. I love it.
And it's the type of thing where as we add it and people use it, like that's, hey, this uses a lot? Great. More signal, let's up that limit and keep going.
Awesome.
Okay, so let's get into the hero link.
Yes.
So this is what exists here at the bottom in these kind of file access settings. Each file, one hero link. One link for you to worry about.
So no more 10 links for the same file.
Well, we'll get there. Okay. But for your average use case, one link to worry about.
Okay.
Defaults to only people added to the file. So just this set of people that you can see here. Keeps your file nice and secure. Kind of works like the...
As an admin, thank you. That's something I think we've been asking you for since 2015, of having the default one be people that already have access at the tenant level.
You see, the story I actually like telling here is the reason, so let's back up a little. There are 3 generations of sharing, this being the 3rd.
Wow, okay.
I'm sketching, but generation 1, direct permissions, advent of the cloud. I add Vlad to my file, you have access, you're good to go.
Okay.
Number 1 problem people encountered is Vlad says, I don't know why I'm talking in 3rd person for you, but that's fine. I need Nestor to have access, forward the email to Nestor. Nestor gets access denied because...
Of course.
Generation 2, we introduced sharing links. People in my organization links, anyone links, things like that. Now I send you a people in my org link, you need Nestor to have it, forward, it all works. The thing that has changed between generation 2 and now, and the reason we are excited about kind of going to this more lockdown default, Teams and Outlook both have integration with sharing. So if you now click forward, type in Nestor, Outlook says, hey, Nestor doesn't have access to this file, do you want to fix it? None of that existed in 2015.
No, okay.
The ecosystem has matured around us, which lets us kind of get to this more advanced world. Now, I'm going to share with Cassie. Now, I'm going to quiz you. Does Cassie have access to this file, Vlad?
No.
Yeah, well, I'm a dumb end user. I shouldn't say dumb. I am a miseducated end user. I'm working too quickly. I'm going to copy that link anyway, paste it here for Cassie. As you would expect.
You don't have access.
Quick aside, this page is also getting updated. It's just not.
Are we going to get a sad ice cream cone or?
No, it's a little bit better. We're going to show it in the session. I don't have the screenshot here. I'll have to send it to you after this. But there's it. How should I put this? It does not look like it was built in 2004.
Okay.
It looks beautiful.
I can't wait to
modern, was it fluent design, whatever kind of design language is. But Cassie no longer has access.
Yeah.
Sad. The power of the hero link. I can update this file to people in my organization.
Okay.
It confirms, lets me know that I'm extending access. Now you will testify, the camera shows my hands, I'm not copying link again. All I'm doing is refreshing Cassie's session. And because I've updated the hero link,
it just works.
It just works. You don't have to send a new link. It's one link that you can update the permissions on.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So now everybody that has the link can view, but the people above there can also edit.
Yep.
And it's all the same link.
And it's all the same link. You know what else is the same link? Say Cassie needs to send this to Zoe, copying the address bar, which historically has not been a path to success in the ecosystem. Sends it to Zoe, who has never accessed the file.
And so now you can copy the URL at the top.
Yep. It's all the hero link, one link. It's flexible. Wherever you get the link, that's what you get.
That's something
We're
that
very excited
everybody
about it.
has asked for since forever. All the
Yep.
users. So
This,
I love it.
I'm so excited about it. All right, let's dive back in here. Next thing you'll see, now that I've refreshed the experience.
Oh, you can see open by two
Yeah,
people.
this is new. You didn't see this at the MVP Summit, did you, Vlad?
No, this is new.
So I can see the people who have accessed the link, so I can still stay in control of my content. I know who's
Okay.
using the link. If I see 20 people show up here, someone linked my link, not great.
I'm going to ask you questions. Do you know
Yeah.
if we're going to be able to see, is it opened forever or is it open in the last X days? Or?
It'll just show you if it was opened at some point.
Okay, nice.
So it
it's
doesn't
like
it doesn't have
all
that
time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then of course, Hero Links giveth access and Hero Links taketh away access. So if I
Okay.
come back here, I lock the file back down, it lets me know, hey, this is going to restrict access for some
Okay.
people. And we'll just refresh Cassie's session over here, and we're
And
back
it's
to access
done.
denied. I've kept my document secure all in a single place.
The fact that it's so instant,
I know.
It's
That's one of my favorite
amazing.
parts.
this is amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's go to your...
There's more?
There's one more thing for you
There's
today.
nice.
You asked about additional links.
Yes.
So let's say I've got this file. I want it fairly locked down. Maybe I want it for people in my organization, what it might
Yeah.
be. But I do need to share it with people outside the company, say
Yeah.
a marketing vendor. That is where the power of additional links come in. And this
Okay.
is also our backwards compatibility story if you're an existing customer.
So this is really important before we do it.
Yeah.
Nothing we have today breaks.
It all works.
So all the links we have
All you-
today, everything still 100% of it works.
All 100% works. Your Hero Links will all start from scratch, so you don't have to worry about a file being opened up in a way
Okay.
you didn't expect. All your existing links continue to work the way they do today.
That's
And
amazing.
Yeah, it just, everything we can do to try and make this change as manageable for you all as possible.
Is it something that's going to remain forever, or is it more for backward? I mean, forever is always a big word to say, especially with.
So-
yeah,
This is the mantra we've had is simple by default, powerful on demand.
I
And
like it.
the thing we saw for most people is they create one link for a file,
Okay.
and then they get confused when multiple links get created and if they manage these types
Okay.
of things. So that's where the Hero Link comes in, is what I call lowering the floor. One link per file. If you're not thinking, don't worry about it. There's one link
Okay.
to manage. But there are cases where you need the full power of SharePoint.
Yes.
And that is where the kind of additional link functionality comes in. And so the first thing we did to really help highlight that is you can now name your links. So I need a link for my marketing partners. So maybe they're an external vendor. I'll make it an anyone link. I'll give them, let's say, view access. I'll have it expire. I can set a password.
Nice.
This creates a separate URL, a separate link named that I can now manage and share individually. So if I send this link around to people, they will get the anyone link. They get that kind of anonymous login experience. If I send the Hero Link around, it's based on whoever else has
Whoever
access
has
to the
access
file.
in there, yeah.
And then when I'm ready to revoke this link, I can just come in and revoke it. And that link's lifetime is done. And so it really positions additional links, the kind of existing sharing links we have today,
Yeah.
as the power user feature that they are. It gives you that granularity
Yeah.
you want when you need it and not when you don't.
I love that you also spend time improving the old experience with the
Yep.
name of the link. It's a small feature, but it helps so much.
It's one of those things where I was trying to think of a good analogy, but as soon as you name something, like you name a pet, like, oh, now you're done. The pet is yours. Now
Yeah.
you can name your link. It gives it a purpose. It gives it
Yeah.
a sense of like, this is why this exists.
And also for you, 6 months later, when you're like, why did I make this?
Yep.
Oh, it was for marketing people. Okay, you know what? I don't work
Good
with
to go.
them anymore. I know I made it. I can delete it.
Yep.
Whereas if
Exactly.
you see it 6 months later, you're like, I don't know why we had it. I'm not going to delete it just in case.
Yep. Exactly. And then goes without saying, but like all the existing like e-discovery compliance features
Yeah.
that people have come to know and expect all continues to work here. It's all part of the
Awesome.
ecosystem and good to go.
If we share with a group,
Yeah.
are there any cool things about that? If I share with a
Do-
security group or
Do I have a secure? Let's go to a SharePoint site. You're gonna see my test site that I really need to update. Relic Cloud, the like new Contoso.
there cannot be a new Contoso.
I mean, sorry,
I know.
the
Okay.
poor replacement for Contoso. I just hadn't seen it, so I was like, oh, Relic. I assumed it was like Relic,
Okay.
and it's like, oh, this is not right. But so I'll show you in the context of like a SharePoint site.
Okay.
The visitors, members, and owners groups show up
Okay.
as well.
Nice.
Security groups would also show up. I just don't know if I have a security group.
Probably all company. Well, let's see.
This
what
is a
was it?
dev environment. We do
Oh,
have an all
company.
company. There you go. So
Sometimes demo tenants are predictable.
sometimes they are. Yep.
Okay.
So you'll see those show up as well. We've got some other things we're working around like label improvements, experiences, and things like that. There's also some reshare changes that we don't have in the environment here. Let's go back to here. So one of the things we'll be adding is per file reshare controls.
Okay.
So are you familiar with members can share?
Yes. Yeah.
So members can share affects an entire site. Members can share, but for a single file.
Nice. So I can be secure by default, but if ever there's 5 files in my site that they need to
Even
own
more.
it,
Yep,
they can have it.
exactly.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot. This is the stop sharing command, which we continue to have if you need to turn a file back to private or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. But yeah, this is the new experience coming. I assume you want to know dates.
Of
'cause everyone
course I
wants
want to know dates.
So right now we're looking at kind of end of this calendar year, so
Okay.
Q4-ish. Blog, message center post, roadmap ID, all that good stuff. We'll have more detail as we get closer.
Awesome. Are we looking at
yeah.
public preview or GA?
We'll probably be looking at GA is what it's looking at right now. With the
So we might
slow
get a
rollout.
public preview towards Ignite then.
I'm hoping so.
Hoping so.
We'll see.
We'll see.
If
But-
you wanted, is this YouTube? I guess I should have asked ahead of time.
Yes.
So yeah, let us know in the comments below, right? Like that's
Yeah.
engagement, right?
Exactly.
Comments below. Tell us if you want a public preview.
Well, I think everybody wants a public
That's
preview. As an IT pro, I think I can say we like to test things before we roll it to the
Definitely.
users and
Yeah.
create training and things like that, because it's a lot easier, but you still need to create training for it.
Let's actually talk about training. That's one of the things we are really committed to. So we're recording this type of video. Our goal is to record more videos like this, not necessarily through you, but just in general.
I mean,
post
you're
them.
always welcome, by the way.
Fair. I might take you up on that. But we want to put as much IT training together and end user training together, documentation
Awesome.
ahead of release.
Cool.
So that all you can start to expect in Q3 is where we're kind of roughly targeting. So ahead of the rollout, you're not going to go at it blind. You'll have as much information as we can give you so that you can make this transition successful, because it's a big change. We know it's a big change. We want to make sure you can land the train.
But that is amazing, and having those will save companies so much time, because they just have to fill in the blanks or the things that
are for them.
specific for
Exactly.
them, instead of doing everything from scratch. So that is amazing. From an IT pro perspective, are there any new tools, any new settings that we can use? So I see the default here already that only people added to the file can access it. That'll be the default across SharePoint and OneDrive.
That will be the default.
Okay. I guess I'm so used to it being different. So yeah, the default. Yes.
The default setting is only people added, and then you'll be able to choose on a per site collection basis if you want it to be people in your organization. So if you have like your HR site or something like that where it makes sense to have something that's a little bit more open, you'll have the ability to set that up.
You said per site collection. Can I still change it at a tenant, or it will be a per site?
Currently, plan is for per site.
Okay.
Definitely listening for feedback if folks are interested in it for per tenant as well.
From an oversharing point of view, I love it.
Yep.
Because too many people just open it up by default, and I'd rather it have locked down by default and then make it more permissive where it makes sense.
That's how we talk about it internally. It is, anytime you change a tenant level setting, especially, an organization of 20,000, 100,000 people, there's always risk there. And so it's finding the right balance there. If folks are interested in that tenant level default, though, comments below.
Yeah, let me know. And any questions you have, by the way, write them down and I'll email you all the questions that hopefully I'll be able to answer some of them. But if not, I'll email all of them to you. So I might spam you with.
Yeah, please do. I guess this will be interesting timing wise. We're the next OneDrive office hours, which is the third Wednesday of every month, is also going to be kind of M365 recap. And we're going to talk about this as well. So if folks have questions and want to join that call,
I'll send them the links so they can come in and get ready with the questions.
Dude, I would love to have all kinds of questions for that.
Awesome.
It's one of my favorite meetings. But
so another question for you. When you had it open, you saw that 2 people opened the link and things like that. From an API point of view or PowerShell point of view, are we going to have access to those statistics?
A good question. That I'm not sure on. I'll have to get back to you on it.
That's also a bit of a biased question because I work at Syskit, so we have a lot of reports and things like that. And I'm sure, I'm joking around, but also admins have reports, things like that, they might want to get this information.
All the existing reporting will get updated for this as well. I know we're working on updating like the Vroom and Graph APIs. So if those are the ones you're looking at, those should also be covered. I'll have to double check exactly which information is included for each.
Awesome.
But this is another place where if there's information you're looking for and it's not there, just tell us.
Awesome. And yeah,
I love that type of feedback.
That's the cool thing that we know is coming in December.
Yep.
There might still be a little bit of time to add some features in.
Active development, as evidenced by this page. I mean, this page has existed for a long time.
Yeah.
But
I just love that it already works. So like to see it live, it's really cool.
I mean, so you were at the MVP Summit in March, right?
End of March, yeah.
So this came together, like the work started obviously before then, but at March, we did not have a working end-to-end demo, and we had this functional by end of April. That's
amazing.
When Jeff saw it for the first time and was super excited.
I bet.
And yeah, we're looking forward to it. They're like, it's not an understatement. Like the biggest change I think we've made in sharing, like direct permissions, the links.
You did mention that you found some old code.
Yeah, I mean, this is so in order to make this work, we had to touch code that was some of the core sharing permission model type stuff to enable the hero link, to enable that kind of like instant refresh like you saw.
But what I can say is that I love it.
Good.
I know that everybody that has seen it has loved it. So those are the kind of changes we need sometimes in M365. As sometimes the simple core stuff, I think Jeff calls it the core stuff, has such a bigger impact than the Copilot stuff we're going to get in 6 months, because that's the stuff we do every day.
So yeah, so you mentioned Jeff talking about core changes versus kind of like Copilot fundamentals. This is a case where sometimes people will ask like, hey, does Microsoft listen to people's feedback? Hopefully, I know people ask it, but about a year and a half ago-ish, we shipped our last iteration of the sharing experience, trying to simplify and address the feedback we were hearing. But it was a UX experience change. The model didn't change like we're doing here. It's because people kept giving us that feedback that helped us justify like, hey, we're going to go touch really old code to make the experience better, because we need that underlying change. So we do listen to feedback. Please send us the feedback through all the avenues, whether it's
through MVPs or showing up at a conference like this one where 200 Microsoft people, I think 200 engineers and PMs at this conference. So this is a perfect one to come give them ideas.
Exactly. And like we can't always say like, hey, we're going to work on it, you'll see it tomorrow. But we look at all of the feedback, we aggregate it together to understand what the trends are, and then go and make the changes. And sometimes it takes maybe longer than you might like. But when
there's usually a good reason for that.
Well,
like now you had to touch code
and then you keep asking us, and it's like, no, this actually is really important. Vlad bugged me like 5 times last week. We're just going to go do it so Vlad stops talking to us.
So this is the way. So let me know. I'll set up a flow. Whatever you bug me, I'll forward it to him, and everything will get fixed in M365.
I'm just going to put a block on your email account.
That's the cool thing with MVP licenses. I can get a lot of domains now. But I think this covers it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the time. For everybody listening, again, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments below. And I'll also put a link to the OneDrive office hours.
Perfect.
You guys do them monthly?
Monthly, third Wednesday. And it's, aka.ms/OneDrive office hours.
Well, that makes it easy.
Yeah.
So this way, if you have any questions, whenever you see the video, whether it's this month or 2 months away from now, you have a time where you can go and ask questions directly to the product team. And you're the first product team that did that in the M365 space, I think.
I think Stream technically did it first, although rest in peace Stream. But
they're not there anymore, so it's okay.
But yeah, it's one of my favorite meetings every month, honestly. I love talking to people. So
thank you so much for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Vlad.
For everybody, please go follow Steven. I'll have all his details in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get more awesome videos such as this one. See you next time.